Today I'm doing an interview with Dr. Nathan, who is actually one of the keynote speakers here at ISTE. I'm here with Dr. Nathan Lang-Raad, who is the Chief Education Officer of WeVideo, and I'm really excited to ask him some questions specifically about video and what's happening with the world of video.
I actually worked at NASA for a few years, which is a blast, and I was in the education office of the Johnson Space Center. And then, so I received my master's degree when I was working there. And then I went back into the school setting, so I was a vice principal of elementary school and a high school. And then when I was at the high school, I thought I might want to lead a district one day, maybe a superintendent. So I pursued my doctorate. After I received my doctorate is when I went into the district level as a director of curriculum and instruction. I think we're already seeing shifts in literacy, shifts in math, where we're going from print and text and we're going more towards an interactive medium. Being able to communicate effectively, being able to be creative, being able to think critically and complexly about something, and then being an innovative problem solver. Everyone has a story to tell. It's just about giving them the opportunity and empowering them and giving them a voice to actually tell that story. Now that you have viewed a video of this subject matter expert talking about this particular learning experience, now what are you going to do with that information? And that's where the student-directed, self-directed learning happens, where a student decides, this is where I want to go next with this information. So they are the ones in the driver's seat, and they are the one creating. For example, if we wanted to do a Socratic seminar, or we wanted to do a Think, Pair, Share, if we wanted to do maybe a hybrid version of that, we would ask students to say, hey, reflect on your thoughts about this concept, and by creating a video, 30-second video. So they go through this problem-solving cycle, and the teacher is inspiring them to say, hey, I want you to capture how your thinking has changed throughout this whole project.
And I'm just watching the social media feeds, just so many inspirational quotes. But I'm just wondering, can you share some of those quotes with our audience?
The one that I saw yesterday that people really liked and they were taking pictures of was creativity is 99% mindset and 1% process, but it's the 1% that gets in the way of the 99%. And what I mean by that is creativity, everyone has the capacity to be creative and share ideas. Many times we just let the environment, or there's a small piece that has to be really solid, a foundational piece. That's the 1%, that's the process. So once we can say, here is a safe, inviting, fun, meaningful place for you to be creative. Once that 1% is solidified and communicated, then we let the 99% flourish. Creating a space where students can be fearless, they can have the courage to share. It's creative burstiness. It's kind of a new term, and I came across it. I think Adam Grant was the one I learned it from, and jazz musicians. And when they are practicing, they are getting into the groove, and then they start harmonizing off of each other. And it also could be used to explain improv comedy troupe whenever they're riffing off of each other. So it's just fun environment, and ideas are flowing, and no one's getting offended because there's a mutual respect in the room, and it's meant for this short burst of creativity.
It reminds me of this thinking of like, maybe there is like a little bit of structure or a little bit of process helps with achieving like a flow state. Like Holly, kind of getting people to a state where they can just keep the ideas flowing, and they know there's going to be a feedback process.
In the paperclip study, groups were competing on the best ideas for the paperclip, and in the study, the group that won was the group that they had share an embarrassing story first, because you've taken away all the inhibitions, and so they were most creative.
So thanks again.
Thank you.
Really
it's been a pleasure.
Creativity without structure can often lead into frustration or confusion. It's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to implement something like this in that amount of time? So a little bit of structure provides a lot of guides for the creative process. I feel like his perspective of like how video is being used, where it's being used, how it's supporting creativity, it fits so well with some of the philosophies that we have at EdTech. Potentially, video is the way that feedback is provided in a natural user interface. All these videos that you're seeing, I'm recording with my cell phone. There's so much you can do with just the mobile device these days in terms of video production. So, we should definitely be expanding. I'm here with Greg Kent, who is the technology coordinator for Kailua. Greg has done some amazing things with respect to creativity and encouraging creativity, and I thought it'd be really great to share that with everyone here.
I had a teacher named Mr. Robertson, and he was like our science teacher in elementary school, and every day we went to meet with him, we were making something. So we were making gliders out of cups and then hanging them off kites and dropping them from as high an elevation as we could, or we were making rockets, or we were trying to soundproof containers, and it just every day was like a challenge, and then we were trying to solve that challenge. I started looking at like how could I apply that to like giving kids access to those tools. I could kind of create this environment and give them everything they might need and let them go, and then kind of just ask them questions instead of telling them like what to do. And hey, here's 6 pieces, make a duck. And then when they make their duck, we're like, that's fantastic. And they go, well, my duck's different from my neighbor's duck. And we're like, yes, yeah, it is. Look at them all. They're all different. And just having those 6 pieces, it's a constraint, but you're free within that constraint. And it kind of going from being these kind of quieter students to the student that reaches out and includes others, like that to me is like like we've made it. Like when they tell other kids, come sit by me and let's work on this together. Do you need help? And I'm going to help you. And my art might not be traditionally, it's not going to go to a museum, but I'm enjoying the process and I'm enjoying making it. And I told them, I said, your creativity is going to manifest in different ways. Like you might be someone who is a painter or a builder, and you might also be someone that like is creative in solving problems.
So much of our exams, tests these days are all focused on getting the right answer the first time, and there isn't that culture of like going out and trying different things.
Yeah. We'll be doing a project in class, or I'll be setting things up for a project, and something will go sideways, and I have to tell myself the same thing, right? Like, it's okay, like, this is one day, or this is only 45 minutes, and everyone's going to survive this, and we're going to just kind of move forward. Please come visit.
I would love to.
That'd be awesome.
So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you again.
You very
really
much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, take care. So personalized learning, how is it? What is it? How can it be applied
for the natural user interface? And so think of the interface is very similar to your phones.
Could you see a fireball in space in an environment without oxygen? Gets them thinking. Maybe there's some vocabulary questions that we want them to ask. This is like a definition one, so you can, what is the definition of
finishing up an activity, and then we're heading out to the game. So I've got my VIP pass.
Go.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified when new videos come out, click the bell.